Hey y'all, welcome back to Leslie's Mature Makeup and Beauty. Today I thought we would try out, I got a couple of new things at Walmart the other day, like literally two. I grabbed a Profusion eyeshadow palette. Y'all know I have a addiction to eyeshadow palettes apparently. This is their smoky palette. It retails for like $5 and some change. And it looked really pretty. And I've never tried Profusion's formula before, so I thought I would give this a try. And then I grabbed the Revlon face primer, this Prime Plus Perfecting and Smoothing Primer. That is supposed to be a dupe for one of the Hourglass primers, one of their new ones. So I thought we'd give that a try too. So as usual, or per usual, we'll start with our eyes. And since this palette does have and I got us a new headband. Since this does have a really light matte shade here, I'm just going to take that to set down my eye primer. I threw on my NYX Ultimate Shadow and Liner Primer. And I think I finally figured out what was happening with my concealer. I had a little bit of trouble with some of my concealer, like looking weird in kind of random places. I used my ABH eye primer the other day. You know, it's white, so you can actually, it'll cover up any lines or anything that you've got on your eyes, discoloration, whatever. Well, I noticed that some of it landed down below my eyes because I have giant fingers and I'm sloppy. So I think that was what was causing my issues with my concealers looking crazy sometimes, like my favorite ones, Which, I mean, there are times when my under eyes are drier than others. That still felt a little tacky, so. And I'm just putting that all the way from the lash line to the brows. But yeah, I couldn't figure out what was going on or I think that's what's going on anyway. And I think to start my crease, I'm going to go in with Top Notch right here. These are really big pans, which is not a problem. Which they may be thinner, I have no idea, but a little bit of powder kick up, which is fine. But I'm going to start in the crease and work it up. This is kind of a nice, cool toned or neutral mid-tone shade. I did pick up a few things from Physicians Formula as well, so we'll have another full face coming soon. And then after that, we'll do Revlon or Maybelline, one of those two. That's got nice pigment to it, and it blends out nicely. I don't know if y'all can hear that wind. It is whipping out there. So that's got that shade, and I think on a little smaller brush, this is my Angie Hot and Flashy. I'm going to go deep into the crease with this nutmeg shade. And this, I think this is a black in here, but it almost looks kind of green. Oh, no, it looks pretty black. Maybe it's got a green undertone or something. Or maybe it's these lights. But I'm going to stick that directly in the crease just to kind of give us a little bit more depth and dimension. So how's everybody's weekend going so far? This should go up on Sunday, I think. So hopefully everybody has had a great weekend. We're going to try to get outside and do some yard work. My husband was out cutting grass a little earlier. It's been so wet. Our yard is kind of, it's like a swamp when we get a lot of rain, and it seems to just take forever to dry out. We have a lot of clay in our soil. So hopefully he's not calling me here in a little bit to come pull him out of the mud. It would not be the first time. But I appreciate his dedication. He's like me, he likes the yard to look nice. It's supposed to get a little frost, so hopefully after that I got a couple of rose bushes or plants that I propagated last year that I didn't get in the ground in time. Just taking a big fluffy brush to blend. So I'm hoping I can get them in the ground in the next couple of days. I mean, they're doing okay, but they're root bound at this point. So far, those have all, blended nicely together. I think I may take a little bit of that on the outside corner too on that same brush. Or I may take a little flat brush. Yeah, I think I'm going to take a little flat brush and pack some of that same shade in the outer corner. That same nutmeg shade. I'm just going to take a more dense brush, not that end, that flat side, and pack that on out there. It's a pretty shade. It's like a rusty kind of brown. So far, so good. And then for shimmer, oh, let's see. These shimmers feel really nice. There's Twinkle, Teleport, Bling, and Bewitched. Bewitched is kind of a deep purple. Y'all know I'm leaning towards that one. I think I might take Teleport, which is this one. It's really pretty. So far, this seems to be a really nice formula. And I think I'm just going to go straight in with the finger and put that on the lid. Ooh. That almost looks like a shimmery version of that nutmeg shade. I like that. This is a really nice formula so far. And for $5, shoot. It's really easy to work with. I'm going to take a brush and kind of drag some of that down. Just a clean brush with nothing on it. Just kind of spread that out where I can't. I can't be real precise with my fingers. I always end up with eye goo everywhere. I think that is really pretty. I think I'm gonna take, where is that brush? This is that little brush that we used in the shade Nutmeg. And just kind of, I didn't add anything to it, just blending back over that crease area. That is a really pretty, I'm pleased. Then I'm going to take a little angled brush and we're going to use one of these deeper shades for an eyeliner. Should we go with the black? I think I'm going to go with graphite. It's like a deep kind of grayish. Almost looks like it's got a hint of like purple in it. And I'm going to load that up right on the tip of that little angled brush. And I'm going to take the short side of the angle and make sure I'm going that direction with it. And just start kind of patting it on there. I'm going to make it a little bit thicker at the outer corner of my eye. A little bit of fallout from that. I'll do that. I'm going to deepen that up just a little bit more. And give us a little bit of a smoky eyeliner. Do the same thing on this eye. Keep it right close to the lash line. And then doing the same thing, just kind of building it up a little bit at this outer corner so it's a little thicker. And that's kind of supposed to help give our eyes a little bit of a lift. I got just a little bit of fallout from that shade, but not bad. Not bad at all, really. But you know, these are kind of stiffer brushes, and then rubbing it right on those lashes. I'm impressed. I can't wait to use that purple shimmer. I think I might take a little bit of this lighter shimmer and put kind of on the inner corner or the inner portion of this twinkle right here. I'm going to take that on a brush and just do a little bit right there to lighten us up a little bit. And then I may take one of those shades in the inner corner once we kind of get done. Let me make sure I don't have nothing on my hands. We're going to see what this primer does. And I'm just going to put it on one side of my face today so I can really see if it makes a difference. Now, I've never tried the Hourglass primer, so I don't know. You know, I can't verify, is it a dupe, is it not a dupe? But a couple of people that I trust here on YouTube, Jen Phelps and then Miss Melissa M, have both of them, and they compared them, and they said they were really, and it's a cute little bottle, little pump. I think this was about, I think around $11 in my area, and you get a full ounce, so that's as much as like a, that's what it looks like, as much as and that's going to be way too much for half of the face. But you know, a full ounce is what you get normally in a foundation. It feels just a little bit tacky. It dries down pretty quick. I think it does smooth a little. I don't know if y'all can tell the difference. You know, this iPhone does me a lot of favors, but just looking at myself in the mirror, and my pores seem to go out a little further on this right side, but it looks like it smoothed a little bit. It's got just a little bit of tack to it, not much. And I'm going to throw on my Wet n Wild Tinted Hydrator. I haven't used this in a minute. I've still been really liking the, you know, of course, my CoverGirl, and then, well, I've kind of been rotating between the CoverGirl, the new NARS light reflecting one, and the L'Oreal. And I'm going to take my Cookies and Dreams sponge and just bounce this in. I think this side looks a little bit smoother. We'll see how everything settles and how it wears throughout the day. But I think it does give a little bit of a blurring effect. And for bronzer, just going to throw on the Flower Beauty Luminous Heat Wave Bronzer. I've really been loving this. I mean, it says it's luminous, but it's not super luminous. It's just really pretty. Super easy to apply. I love the undertone of this one, the Sunrise. It's a cooler. Got a little bit of a cooler undertone, which I like for my... I have a cooler undertone. Really pretty. And then I had picked up, when I made a Sephora order, one of the Patrick Ta cheek or blush duos that's got the cream and the powder. I grabbed the shade She's Blushing. I think that's one of his newer shades. And I'm going to remember this time, every time I've used it, I have put on the cream and then the powder. But he's designed these, which I think a good cream blush should go over powder, which most of the ones that I have do. But that's how he recommends applying these, is putting on the blush and then the cream on top. So I'm going to take this, and it looks like it's got a little bit of a super soft and silky, like a little bit of a, well, I put that right over that shimmer. But it does have just a little bit of a, like a sheen to it. And these are kind of pigmented. I barely tap my brush in, so just keep that in mind. But that's beautiful just by itself. And since I'm going to go over it with that cream, I don't want to do too much of the powder, which is hard for me to do. Y'all know I like some blush. And then to do the cream portion, I'm going to use one of my e.l.f. putty primer applicators. And it does have the cute little plastic window to keep the powder out of the cream. I'm going to keep this a little higher up. That is so pretty. Y'all know I like a little blush everywhere. I may need to tap over that with my sponge, which is the story of my life. I just love a blush. But yeah, that's so pretty, and it gives like a little glow to the cheeks. I think they're gorgeous. I mean, they are spendy, but I justified it to myself as in I'm getting 2 in 1, so really, it's not that bad. All right, so let's finish up our eyes. I really like that palette. I mean, I think that performed really well. And I think I'm just going to take a little bit of, where's my little baby profusion brush? Oh, my little baby profusion brush. I'm going to take that shade Nutmeg and just run a little bit of that under the lower lash line. I think I may take a little bit of that graphite and do just a teensy bit on the outer corner. Just kind of connect the upper and lower. Just the tiniest little dab. And I think I'm going to take a little bit of this bling shade, this kind of silvery shimmer, on a pencil brush. And run that in the inner corner. Really pretty. These are good. Of course, if it doesn't fade throughout the day. For mascara, I'm going to go in with my Maybelline Snapscara. This stuff will give you length for days. That's 2 coats of that mascara, and it literally give you length for days. I think I am going to powder just a little bit, just on my nose. I'm going to take a little bit of my number 7 finishing powder on my little poof and just kind of right down the center. As that foundation is a little more on the hydrating side, luminous, glowy side. This is a really good powder. But I definitely think that primer helped. I set my brows down. I'm really liking the tones of that shadow. Really pretty. But y'all know I kind of like those mauvey, browny, purple. Take it off. I think my blush may be a fuzz lower on this cheek than the other. And I'm going to line my lips with one of my ColourPop Lippy pencils. I've really been enjoying that set. They're creamy, but they don't sink into my lip lines. That's not quite the shade I was expecting out of this color pencil. So let's zhuzh that up with something. I'm going to take a little bit of my Flower Beauty Petal Pout Matte in Naked Blush. Concentrate that kind of on the center. Tone that down just a little bit. And I'm going to take a little bit of my Maybelline Lifter Gloss. That's the shade Moon. And of course I'll have everything listed and linked down below. Yeah, I think that gave us a better, little bit of a better match with the with our eyes. But that is our finished look. I used a new protein treatment from L'Oreal, and for just one use, I think it's, it's really given me nice curls. I'm really impressed with this eyeshadow palette. And I think looking up close in the mirror, I know it's probably hard for y'all to tell. I really feel like that primer blurred my pores. Should have put that all over. And that Maybelline Snapscara. Thank y'all for recommending that. It's really, that stuff just gives amazing length, and it absolutely does not budge. But this is our finished look, trying out some profusion eyeshadow, and I'll update the description box if something fades or, creases or whatever. But I always use an eye primer because of my hooded eyes, so I don't expect it to go anywhere, but I think it turned out really pretty. Well, I appreciate you guys. Thanks for spending a little bit of time with me this weekend. I love y'all, and I thank you so much for your continued support, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Bye, y'all.